Greetings and salutations. Another episode of the Let's Not Do This podcast. We got the Big O sitting to my left, quite off to my far left. One Scotty Too Hottie. How are you, sir?
Not too bad. We're missing somebody today. Hopefully he's not locked in the basement somewhere.
Well, given the fact that we know Chris's background, that could be a very good choice there. If you're able to blink twice, maybe send a message, carry your pigeon, something along those lines. He's probably
for president. Yeah, we did go out last night, and we don't know where he's at.
Yeah. Last thing I heard was I met a woman, and that was it. So we'll see.
So he's lying. Yeah.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. He's probably in like a Mexican cartel house right now, being used as a pincushion. Also, Ryan continues his journey searching for his soul around the earth. So we'll see what that. I hear he's in Turkmenistan now, which, by the way, is one of the hardest countries to get into. I don't know if you knew that.
I never really searched for any tickets there. So
no, it's like I was watching a documentary. Like the border is like super locked down. It's like super hard to get into. It's like this weird, eerie, like ghostland of a place that nobody goes to. Apparently, it makes North Korea look like Japan or something. But it's cities for all of our followers in Turkmenistan. So we got that going for us. But yeah, we did go out last night. It's the first time I've seen you since Thanksgiving? Before Thanksgiving?
Probably. Yeah, sounds about right. Yeah, I didn't get to trim my beard. I got home a little late. Almost overslept. But good times.
Well, your job performance has probably gone steadily through the roof since we haven't seen each other in person. No more late night drinking with me.
Yes and no.
Yeah,
I have more responsibilities at work now. So
there we go. Well, your number one responsibility should always be this show, as we.
Hey, I'm here.
Yeah, we're trying to monetize. Nothing. But and then Ryan continues his journey around the world. So we're here. We're not queer, but we are here. Get used to it. I can't speak for Chris, but All right. Well, on the agenda today, we got playoff games coming up, NFC and AFC championship games. We got some NFL coaching news. I guess let's dive in. Let's start there. Raheem Morris, shortly before you and I started doing this podcast this evening, Raheem Morris announced as the new head coach of the Atlanta Falcons. Scotty, this took me by surprise, especially given the fact that, we knew that Bill Belichick interviewed not once, but twice. And now Raheem Morris taking over in Atlanta. Your initial thoughts?
Yeah, I was surprised. I thought Belichick was pretty much a shoo-in because, why are you bringing Bill Belichick in for a second interview? Do you not have enough information on him? So I figured that was like a lock-in. I don't know. Maybe he's asking for a lot of money or for full control again. But yeah, I just thought it was kind of odd because of who they went to another defensive guy. Figured if you're looking for a defensive coach, you got one of the best right there. So yeah, I'm sure. I'm thinking it's probably a money thing or he's asking for full control and they don't want to give it to him.
I think it probably has to come down to a control thing, as you said. And also, I don't know if Atlanta necessarily chose Raheem or if Bill just didn't choose Atlanta. Because, first of all, when they did the first interview, I know you have to go through the interview process. You have to do all this stuff. But it's Bill Belichick. What do you have to interview him about? What's your 5-year plan? What do you plan to do? He's posting the Super Bowl rings, So, yeah, especially when you had that guy in the building twice, that tells me that Bill was probably offered that job and he turned it down. And whether it was a control thing, whether it was a money thing, whether it was he looked at this thing and said, hey, it's going to be a longer rebuild and I plan on sticking around, who knows? But Raheem Morris taking over there. I am surprised they didn't go with more of an offensive coach, especially given, the talent that's there on that team. And they're really a quarterback away, I think, offensively from being a very good football team. You look at Pitts and Bijan Robinson and, Drake London. There's a lot of talent offensively on that team. You just need the right guy to pull the trigger.
You got to use him.
That's very true. You got to use him correctly. And he was in Atlanta before, I think. He was in think it was like the head coach and like a wide receivers coach, and I think it was a defensive coordinator there before too, before he went to the Rams, right?
I believe so. I know he was there at some point.
Yeah, I think
Maybe when Kyle Shanahan was there, probably.
he ended up there. Yeah, after he got let go in Tampa, he went to Washington for like a year or so, and then I think he went to Atlanta. So kind of coming back home for him. But what do you think? You think he'll be successful there?
Um, I mean, I don't know. They gotta find a quarterback. I don't think they have their guy on the roster. I mean, I like him. I hope he does well. Hope he can succeed. But I mean, they've had talent there for a couple of years, except for the quarterback position. So he's got to find a quarterback, and then I think he can get them in the playoffs if he gets a quarterback.
The thing they got going for them, the thing that everyone in that South division has going for them in the NFC is it's wide open. Like
Yeah,
I mean, even Carolina, you see these worst the first things. There are other train wreck. They just got a new coach who no one quite is sure who this guy is. Um, but the turnaround isn't going to be that big of a hill to climb up. There's no big bad team in the NFC South. It's not like you're trying to do this in the AFC West. We'll get to Jim Harbaugh going to the Chargers in a little bit, but it's not like you got Patrick Mahomes sitting there in the West and you got to dethrone those guys. This is wide open. I think he can be successful there. I think they're set up. I mean, it's a beautiful facility they have. I think they're okay cap wise. You're going to have some picks. It's an opportunity to build, and I think Raheem, from all things I've read and heard, he seems to be a player's coach. Guys like him. They play hard for him. They like to play for him. So hopefully they can get some things in free agency. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens there. Going out west, Jim Harbaugh, the big news, leaving Michigan after the national championship, and amid some NCAA poking around, we'll see what happens ultimately with Michigan, taking over in LA. I like this fit, Scotty. Jim Harbaugh, Justin Herbert. I mean, he's a quarterback guy, and now you let him take over with Justin Herbert and the Chargers. That could be a lot of fun, I think.
Yeah, I like it too. I think Harbaugh's gonna have to get used to not having fans in the stands, but other than that,
well, not having their fans. There'll be plenty of other teams' fans.
Yeah, but yeah, I think he might be able to get Herbert to where everybody thinks he should be. And yeah, he's got history there. So, well, with the Chargers, not in LA, but yeah, I like it. Definitely better than Brandon Staley.
Yeah, I mean, I think the analytics stuff too that they were doing so much of in San Diego, Los Angeles, that's probably going to end up going out the window now with Jim Harbaugh. Maybe you'll start to see them run the ball a little bit more, play a little bit more smash mouth football too. We'll see what happens there. But no, I like it. I think it could be a really good fit for him out in Los Angeles. And it's funny too because Tom Telesco, who was a GM of the Chargers, he ends up going to Vegas, and he's going to be the GM of the Raiders. And you could argue, as bad as Brandon Staley was, Telesco was the bigger problem. He put that flawed team together, and now he'll get to see the creation that he fucked up in LA twice a year now for the next few years.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like they had some talent there.
There was Chargers quite lived up to potential. Maybe that's coaching. Maybe that's just the fifth guys in the scheme. I mean, the offensive line wasn't as good as they could have been or should have been. Injuries always play a role, but everyone has injuries, So we'll see. Yeah. The big thing is now Jim Harbaugh is going to have to find a way to dethrone Kansas City, and that is not a enviable task.
No.
So you have to try to figure out how to knock those guys. What did they win the division like? Was it 6-7 years in a row? I think Kansas City has
something like that.
Yeah.
Well, like you heard 1,000 times, Mahomes just played his first road game in the playoffs, true road game,
which is crazy. Yeah, and now he goes to Baltimore, and we'll talk about that more in a little bit. Then Carolina has a new coach, Dave. Is it Dave Canellis? Is that how you pronounce it?
Sure.
Yeah.
I have no idea, to be honest with you, who this guy is. Dave Canellis. Is that what you said?
Yeah, I think it is Canellis. I'm going to share something with you here that I saw on X. And here we go. If you can bring it in, I'm not sure if you can see that graphic. This is Dave Canellis's resume. Going back, he was running a startup business selling Rudy Lara cowboy boots. Now, I'm no fashionista. But don't those sound like women's boots?
Rudy, Lara.
I mean,
I
Rudy,
could go either way, I guess. Maybe they're unisex.
could be, but he was essentially Al Bundy. He was working at the shoe store. He was selling boots, and then you go from selling boots to Carson High School as an offensive coordinator. How do you make that jump? I mean, I know it's a high school offensive coordinator, but how do you make that jump from selling boots to high school OC? Do you just walk in like the principal's office and here's my resume? And by the way, if you want a pair of size 12 cowboy boots, I got you.
Yeah, is that where he went to high school?
Maybe. Then he goes to El Camino College, coaching special teams and tight ends, an assistant strength coach with USC. Then the bigger thing is, how do you go from an assistant strength coach at USC to coaching wide receiver for the Seahawks?
Probably just knew somebody. That was probably I don't know. Maybe Pete Carroll had something to do with it.
Maybe
USC connection.
That's a jump of all jumps on his resume.
Yeah.
Then you're coaching quarterbacks in Seattle, the passing game coordinator in Seattle, the quarterbacks coach again. Then in Tampa, 1 year as an offensive coordinator. I mean, look, Carolina.
So maybe are they trying to credit him for Geno's rise, his resurrection?
The resurrection of Geno Smith, and Baker Mayfield having kind of saving his career this year in Tampa Bay, maybe. And now you pair him with Bryce Young. Maybe he'll be good for his career. But to me, this is a little puzzling to me. We've seen Dave Tepper, the Panthers owner, go in the direction of an experienced guy like Frank Reich. Then you've seen Rule come in there and not work things out. I guess he's figured, hey, I'm just going to pull from a different box and go and get a young guy. Not a lot of experience, but maybe he's got a bright up-and-coming future. But that team was so flawed, and there's so many arms there.
At this point, I mean, you gotta take who you can get if you're the Panthers. They're not getting the top names. Nobody that's in demand is going to want to go there right now. So maybe this is the best they could do.
I think the biggest thing for them is Dan Morgan at GM. I mean, you kind of have an adult in the room now, someone that can kind of brush back against Tepper a little bit.
Man.
Get him out of the football business a little bit and have him stop being so impulsive and take a chill pill.
I wouldn't be so sure about that. I mean, you hire somebody that's in the building already. I don't know. Sounds like to me it's gonna be more of the same.
Yeah. That, by the way, is that city right now like the worst sports city in America? Like the Hornets are terrible. The Panthers are a train wreck. I'm not going to give them the Hurricanes because they're in Raleigh. I mean, same state, but I mean, of the two teams that they have, and you have a minor league baseball team, the Knights, but it's minor league baseball. That's got worst sports city right now. Is that the most
probably
sports city? I would say maybe
the most what?
The most miserable sports city. Like no one in Charlotte is enjoying sports right now.
Yeah, probably not. Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Yeah. Oh well. Of those three coaches that have been hired right now, who do you think has the most success?
I'm gonna say Harbaugh.
I think that's I want to say Harbaugh, but I feel like my gut is going to say Raheem Morris, just because the NFC South is so bad. It's an easier road. There's no giant this way.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think Harbaugh is gonna just turn that the culture around. But I really think he can and get Justin Herbert. We all know he's got talent. Maybe he can get him to that next level. Sometimes that's all it takes.
Yeah. We'll see what happens there. And then, of course, Michigan, Sharon Moore replacing Jim Harbaugh.
Did they say that?
Yeah, he's replacing him. So I guess now when he cries in the post game, he gets all emotional and talks about how much he'll just talk about how much he loves the team and how much he loves himself. Or will he still say he loves Jim Harbaugh? Will he give thanks to Jim Harbaugh after his first win for leaving so he has an opportunity now?
Hey, why not?
Yeah. And will Michigan really notice any difference since Harbaugh was out the majority of the season anyway from various suspensions this past year?
I guess we'll have to see if anybody transfers out.
That's
That's what it's going to come down to.
Yeah, because right now, as we all see what happening with Alabama, as soon as the coach leaves, it's the floodgates open up. It's a mass exodus. So, yeah. All right. Well, since we talked a little NFL here, we may as well transition over to the games this week. Conference championships, NFC and AFC championship games. And Scotty, I will start with you, sir. And I am going to go just in alphabetical order. AFC championship game, Kansas City at Baltimore, 3 o'clock, CBS. Taylor Swift more than likely will be in attendance. Hopefully, she does not drive through the neighborhood from the wire. Otherwise, Omar might be coming for her. Yeah, Baltimore.
Stupid about Baltimore.
What's that?
So I knew you were going to say something dumb about Baltimore.
Hey, I'm just saying. I don't think she's been to Baltimore. I don't think she's ready for this. Travis Kelce talked about the Buffalo fans and how harsh they were to her and the things they said about them and all this stuff. Have you played in Baltimore, sir? It's not a pleasant city. These are not pleasant people that we're dealing with right now. Baltimore is like America's Australia. Remember, like the English sent their convicts there? I pretty much assume that everyone in Baltimore has some sort of a criminal record. And yeah, that's okay. Works for them. I'm just saying, I don't think she's ready for the hornet's nest that she's going to encounter at M&T Bank Stadium. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Well, not touching any of that. But.
All right. Your thoughts on the field.
So I'll start off by saying I do think that the Ravens are going to win this game, but I'm not too terribly confident about that. I've been flip-flopping on this game. My bet's going to be the Chiefs. That's moved up to +4. You can't give me 4 points with Patrick Mahomes. And he's actually like a cover machine when he's an underdog. I think it's like 16 of the last 21 he's covered. And I think 15 of those were outright wins. So yeah, I think it's going to be a great game, close game. I think maybe Lamar starts off a little, maybe have some nerves trying to just take that next step. And I think that the Chiefs are going to be able to keep it close. I do think the Ravens they'll probably win by 3 points, like a 24-21 game. But yeah, again, you're giving me Mahomes and Kelce, and now we talked about it last week. He's finally got a receiver. They got Pacheco. Their defense is playing very good. Yeah, 4 points. Yeah, I'm taking that all day.
I hate to agree with you here, but yeah, I'm taking Kansas City +4 as well. Now that being said, I am going to fade myself here. I'm taking Kansas City +4 for all those reasons that you just named, plus one more. I'm sure you saw the Warren Sharp analysis. For those that haven't, referee Sean Smith is working the game, and when teams are at home, Warren Sharp says they have a 55.4 win percentage since Smith entered the league as a referee. The game, that percentage drops to 40.8 when Smith reps the game. So home teams, for whatever reason, at a big disadvantage. Under Smith, home teams are only 17, 29, and 3 against the spread. That's 37% in the last 3 seasons, according to Warren Sharp. The fix is in. The fix is in. There's stuff in the ballot box. This is Patrick Ewing with the frozen envelope at the NBA draft. That's what this is. You see the colors of the Super Bowl logo and stuff. Yeah, you think Baltimore's going to get there? They're going to make sure Taylor goes there. They want that audience in there. I'm taking Kansas City +4. I think they'll win outright as well. That being said, Baltimore, I've said some terrible things about you a little while ago. I've said some terrible things about you throughout my life. But for one day, let's bond together. It's some what you call yourself, big truz, whatever that thing is. Some love, okay? Some big truz love. Lamar Jackson, you're my favorite quarterback in the history of the game on Sunday. I need you to do this. There's one man that is stopping us from seeing Taylor Swift at the Super Bowl, and that's Lamar Jackson. Help us, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're our only hope. I put my faith in you, Lamar. I'm fading myself, and I'm throwing myself upon the bullet-riddled streets of Baltimore, pleading for pleading for a Ravens win.
Oh my goodness.
Scotty, if they win, I always root for the NFC in the Super Bowl. If Baltimore does me this solid, I will buy a Ravens shirt and I will root for Baltimore in the Super Bowl if they save us
Okay.
from Taylor Swift Super Bowl appearance.
All right. Damn. All full of conspiracy theories. And what, are you going to tell me that birds aren't real next?
Oh yeah, birds aren't real. I got some literature in my trunk that I'd love to give you. I was listening to Alex Jones earlier, so
I do think
I was not listening to Alex Jones.
I don't know. You just all right.
Yeah.
But no, I do think the Ravens win, but don't cover. Lamar's gonna probably have a lot of success running the ball because they gave up a bunch of running yards to Josh Allen last week. This is the game to get in the Super Bowl, so he's probably gonna be going all out. So if you like to bet on props, whatever Lamar Jackson's rushing yards, I would bet the over on that. Also, I do think the winner of this game is going to win the Super Bowl. I don't want to give away my pick for the NFC yet, but yeah, winner of this game is taking the whole thing.
Yeah, it definitely feels like this is the actual Super Bowl.
Well, I don't know. I think there's a lot of people out there that still think the 49ers are the best team. I think they had the hypothetical lines, and I think it was either a pick 'em or San Francisco was favored by a point for against the Ravens. So yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people out there are still riding with the 49ers.
Problem is, and we'll get to it more in the next game. The problem is Brock Purdy at quarterback, if they do make it there. Of the 4 teams left, they have the weakest at the most important position on the field. He's been great at times, but he's been bad at times as well. A tale of 2 quarterbacks.
Well, not only him, Kyle Shanahan too.
Yeah.
I'm not forgetting about that 28-3 with the Falcons. That was his fault.
And going back to the Baltimore game, I will say, Harrison Butker's been great for Kansas City, but with the game on the line, I love Baltimore's special teams. They're so well coached. They're so well disciplined special teams wise. The field position game with punting, and then obviously Justin Tucker, in my opinion, the greatest kicker in the history of the NFL. If it comes down to his foot, yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know. He's the most accurate kicker in history, but was it last week or the week before? He was like 1 for 4 this year from 50 plus. And I think he drilled a 50+ yarder, but it's like, is he losing a step? No pun intended. I don't know.
Very well could be. And I think Baltimore's defense too. I don't know if Kansas City's played a defense yet that's as physical as this Baltimore team. They're going to, in all the little cute stuff that Kansas City wants to do, like Baltimore's going to put a helmet on you. They're going to force overs. They hit hard. You're going to think twice with some of the little cute stuff you want to do.
But Kansas City hasn't been doing that the last few weeks. I think they've found something. I think all this bad weather is kind of like, if we keep it simple, we're still really good, and it's been working out for them.
Yeah.
So
Pacheco,
a great game.
What do they say? Pacheco running like a kid with a new pair of shoes.
Well, I saw something yesterday. It said they said I run like I bite people. It's hilarious.
That kid's, I will say, as much as I dislike that team because of everything else around them, I really love the way Pacheco runs, and Rashee Rice, we talked about him last week. He's just emerging to be a guy, man. He's a dude. I like him a lot. And on the defensive side of that ball, Chris Jones, I would never want to line up across from him. And Karlaftis just has a nose for getting to the quarterback as well. So it's going to be a really good game. This is going to be the best game of the weekend, in my opinion.
I think they do have a D tackle that might not play, so that's a little concerning against that Ravens run game. Yeah. But I'm looking forward to this for sure.
And then the nightcap in the NFC in beautiful Santa Clara, California, the 49ers of San Francisco hosting the Lions of Detroit. Yes, America, the Detroit Lions are in the NFC Championship game. Yes, America, the Detroit Lions are 1 win away from the Super Bowl. You ever thought those words would come out of your mouth? The Detroit Lions are 1 win away from the Super Bowl?
No, not before I died, no.
Yeah. And could you imagine if they make it there? Just that fan base, how crazy they're going to be. But the Super Bowl's in Vegas. And the people in Detroit that can actually, afford to go out there, I don't know if Lions fans are going to live through it. They got to get to that point. They got to get there first. But I don't know if they're going to live. Like they say in Hangover, some guys just can't handle Vegas. Lions fan after a Michigan national championship in Vegas to watch his team play for the Super Bowl. There's going to be heart attacks. There's going to be overdoses. Vegas EMS is going to be busy if these people get to the Super Bowl. I feel like San Francisco also might have to do like a public health service of like beating Detroit just to save them from themselves. But we'll see.
The amount of strippers that are going to be there be insane. But my thoughts. Before the season started, we forgot to make our Super Bowl picks. My pick was going to be Chiefs over the 49ers. And then if we would have made picks, which we didn't do at the beginning of the playoffs, it was going to be Ravens over 49ers. So I've been heavy on 49ers all year in the NFC. I think they've clearly been the best team in the NFC. This is a 7-point spread still, I think. I'm taking it. I know that's a big number, and I think the public is probably going to be on Detroit. That's even more reason to be on the 49ers. I think, like you were just saying about Detroit and how they've made it this far, and I just think this is where it ends. You got Jared Goff. I know the weather's probably not going to be bad. It's in California. But still, his indoor games to outdoor games are just like the comparison is pretty ridiculous. So I get to see that defense is kind of getting healthy. I think they're getting Armstead fully back. So I think you do need to watch out for Debo. But even if he doesn't play, I think Jennings can step up, and they got plenty of enough weapons. The Lions, their defense is solid, but they're not great. 49ers are going to be able to score on them. And I think it's going to, unlike last week when they barely squeaked by Green Bay and they burnt me, I think they're going to turn it around and show they're the best team in the NFC.
Scotty, I agree with everything that you just said there, as much as it pains me to do so. If I was taking this game with the spread, I would take San Francisco -7. But I think you're going to see a large dosage of the ball on the ground with McCaffrey, and I think you'll see Gibbs run and Montgomery for Detroit. I'm going under here. I'm going under 51.5 points. I just feel like Detroit's not going to be able to score a lot of points. San Francisco is going to eat up some clock on the ground. I don't think they want to have to ask Brock Purdy to win this game. I don't think they want to have to ask him to do a lot. So maybe some shorter passes, run the football, control the clock a little bit more, let that defense speak for them. And I feel like when it all is said and done, I feel like the moment's going to be too big for Jared Goff. Yes, I know he's played the Super Bowl with the Rams before, but I just feel like Detroit's going to freeze up. They're going to make a turnover, or Dan Campbell's going to, be aggressive and make a bad call, a fourth down, going for it late. Something's going to show that like they just a little tight or not quite there yet. So I think San Francisco wins this game straight up. I think they cover, but I'm going under 51.5 points in this one.
Yeah, actually, I like the under too.
Yeah. What do you, if you had to, what would you think about the over under for the first game? Where is that at? It is at 44.5 in Baltimore.
My gut says the over. I do think both offenses are going to be able to move the ball. But just like you said in the 49ers game, I think it's going to be a lot of short passes for the Chiefs and a lot of running for the Chiefs and then a lot of running, obviously, for the Ravens. So that clock's going to be winding down. But, what did I say, 24-21? So that would put it over by the hook. So if I had to bet the over, it'd be the over.
Okay. You would go over in that one. All right.
Yeah.
I think in that game, I think I would go under. I feel like it's going to be a tighter game. Once again, I just see both teams running the ball a lot. I see that being a fast-moving game in that first game. Not a lot of flags unless it's who's the tackle for Kansas City is always offside. False starting. Was it Taylor 74 or whatever his name is?
I can't think of the name, but yeah,
they'll be like the only flags that you really see there, unless Baltimore gets penalized for being too mean to Taylor Swift, unsportsmanlike conduct or something like that. You see their
or if Tony comes back, he's good for a penalty.
That's very true.
I could see him coming back and catching like a game-winning touchdown. He's been so bad this year. I can see that happening.
That would be one hell of a redemption story for Kadarius Toney. And then you would see him on the field hugging Taylor Swift and Patrick Mahomes afterward. All of America would just vomit.
Oh, what's Kelsey doing?
Well, Scotty, there's a term called cuckold that I need you to. No, I don't know what he's doing. Probably watching his brother be revived after drinking too much lean in the stands in Baltimore. Because if they were giving him beers, he's drinking beers in Buffalo, he might be getting some lean or something in Baltimore. I don't know what they're doing over there.
What a first impression to make on your future sister-in-law.
Yeah, I mean, there's really nowhere else to go but up from there. I really admire Jason Kelsey for what he did because worst, no matter what you do for the rest of your life, your sister-in-law can never get mad at you because it's like, hey, you knew who I was.
Yeah,
you knew what kind of family you married into. So I actually respect him for that. All right, well, that's the 2 NFL games. We're going to do one non-NFL affair. What did you decide to go with? College basketball?
No, I actually went NBA.
Ooh,
the game tonight at what time is it now? So we still got 14 minutes. Starts at 7:30 tonight. What?
Is that league still going?
Yeah, it's still going.
Oh, I thought it was a vintage T-shirt that you had there from like a defunct sports.
No, Go Magic.
Your mighty Orlando Magic.
The NBA is
hello. Or was it Nicky?
The NBA is alive and well.
Oh,
but no, I'm going 7:30 coming up here pretty soon. The Denver Nuggets at the Knicks. Trying to see what channel this is on. It must not be on TV.
It's NBA.
Have to league pass it. But yeah, I'm going under 223.5. I got it on Fanatics. These are just two teams that have been hitting a lot of unders this year. The Nuggets, I think, were 27-17 to the under, and the Knicks 25-19. And both times they played last year, they hit the under. The Nuggets had a lot of unders on the road, and Knicks a lot of unders at home, and that's where the game's at. And both of these teams have like bottom 5 pace of play. So, yeah, give me the under. I got burned on the under last night in the NBA. It's not always the best bet to make, but that's where I'm going, under 223.5.
Okay. I am going to go over to the Premier League for my game, and I think that's Saturday. Is that the 20th?
Is somebody going to score?
Is someone going to score? What day is the 30th? Oh, wait, that's on Tuesday. I'm looking at. Never mind. I'm on my.
You can do that
Yeah, I am.
If you got a line, you can do it.
Yeah, I'm going to go Tuesday. I got a line on that. For some reason, I thought they gave it was Saturday. We got Brighton and Hove Albion, which you bet on the other day when they drew Wolves 0-0. They are making a trip to Luton, to Nileworth Road, which, by the way, is the most unique stadium probably in all of sports. It literally, you have to enter through like a row house to go into the away stand there. Literally, like as people are walking through, you can almost see into like people's bathrooms and stuff. It's literally in the middle of a bunch of row houses where the stadium is.
Well, I definitely hope somebody scores then.
Someone might be scoring in one of the row houses as that game's going on. But yeah, Brighton, the Seagulls, coming back to earth a little bit there. I think they're 7th right now in the table in the Premier League. Luton 18th, just trying to keep their head above water. Prime in the relegation zone there. Brighton has seen a little bit of an offensive downturn over the last couple of weeks. Obviously, as you saw, the 0-0 draw to Wolves. I'm going to go Brighton. I am not going to be a big man and pick the score like I did last week. I'm just going to go actually, you know what? I will pick the score. I'm going to go Brighton. I'm going to go 2-0 Brighton. I feel like getting a win there.
Good luck. That was the first soccer bet I've made all year. I picked Brighton. They're minus 155, and it was 0-0 or 0-0, as you weirder say.
Hey,
so I'm probably done betting soccer for a long time.
Hey, when you go into the fortress, that is Molyneux to play Wolves, you never know, man. You got to come with some vicious knife fight in there. You never know. All right. So
yeah, I wanted somebody to stab me when I saw the score.
Are you familiar with a Chelsea grin?
No.
I remember correctly, I think the Chelsea fans used to take like a credit card and put it in your mouth. And then like when they hit you, it would cut you, kind of like the Joker, call it a Chelsea grin. So
what the fuck? So
What?
they would do that to themselves?
No, to like rival people that they were fighting. It was like what was it, the Chelsea Road Crew, I think was their hooligan firm. Now watch, a bunch of British hooligans are gonna stumble across this, come across the pond and whoop my ass. But yeah.
At least we get some viewers.
And hopefully so. Hey, don't worry. I got backing, okay? We got the Richmond Kickers here. We got the Red Army, which is like the most tame soccer supporter section I think I've ever seen in my life. It's like two guys beating a drum and like a smoke thing going off, and like that's about it. And a couple guys waving flags. I don't think they could intimidate a TGI Fridays, much less an opposing fan base. But hey, there are ruse. So up the ruse. There we go.
Okay.
No one understood anything that I just said.
Nope.
So, all right. Well, transitioning away as Chris transitioning away from the sports stuff here, going to some of the non-sports stuff. Scotty, you were actually going to send this over to me, and I had it too. This was in Michigan, I believe, at a Walmart, where a Amish horse and buggy was stolen from a Walmart while the family shopped inside. Apparently, it happened Saturday in Sturgis, no, not South Dakota, Sturgis, Michigan, which is about 95 miles south of Grand Rapids, about 5:30 in the afternoon. It was a stolen Amish horse and buggy. A female apparently stole it. It was a 31-year-old suspect. They'd already made contact with her earlier in the day. They eventually found the stolen buggy later that same evening and were able to find the alleged unnamed suspect at a nearby motel where she was arrested without incident, according to authorities. A lot.
It's hilarious. So she went to she stole a horse and buggy outside of a Walmart and then just went to her hotel room.
No, not a hotel, a motel.
A motel.
Yeah, because
and so obviously it was just parked out front. Like,
here's my thing. Okay,
it's not like a Camry that you can just park and be inconspicuous.
That's very true. Where do you hitch the horse at a motel? Do you like tie it to the door of the motel?
There's probably no hitching. She probably just yeah.
Where was the horse at when they were in Walmart? Where did they hitch the horse up? Because the horse is. If I'm a horse and my family's in Walmart shopping and I'm carrying around a goddamn buggy all day, that's my opportunity to leave. Hey, I'm going to roll out. I'm going out like Ludacris. Roll out. I'm going down the road, This horse had to be, tied up to a light pole? And could they tie the horse to a light pole? Can they even touch a light pole because of the whole electricity thing? There's a lot of things I want to know here.
They probably didn't need to tie it to anything.
They just tied
a lot of horses, you just like throw it and they think they're tied up and they just sit there.
Horses are that dumb.
Yeah, I guess. My question is, speaking of dumb, so somebody that dumb that would take a horse and buggy and just go to a motel, like how do they even have the knowledge to ride a horse in the first place?
Well, I'm not familiar with Sturgis, Michigan, but maybe this was a rogue Amish person. Maybe they were excommunicado. Maybe that was their way of getting back into church. Maybe I don't know. Or maybe
they'll documentary. Pretty soon.
Maybe they weren't actually riding the horse. It's like on the buggy, they got like the little train part that you sit behind, like the little raised coach. Maybe you just get the ropes, and then the horse just goes, I don't know how you make it turn right and left. Do you like yank on the left to make them go left?
I've never ridden a horse. I don't know. Or a buggy or none of that shit. And I'm assuming the Amish people didn't have a cell phone, so they probably had to like go inside and ask their manager at Walmart.
They got LoJack on the horse trailer. You got like one of those like Apple AirTags. You stick it up under the horse trailer. We just got a cottage industry now. We're gonna sell Apple AirTags to Amish people to put under the buggy of the horse and buggy, and then we'll register them. Our company will be like a home security company, right? You can't find your buggy. You give us a call from a rotary dial phone, and we will look it up on the computer and say, it looks like Jasper stole your buggy. He's down on the Copernicus Way. And then they send a posse to ride out there in the middle of West Justice.
Zero chance they would buy any of that shit. They would think that was like some voodoo shit. They'd be terrified of it.
If maybe this is a growing problem. Crime is up in America. It's a tough economy right now. Amish horse thievery is a cottage industry that we need to insure against. We provide them peace of mind.
Yeah, I guess.
There was a Walmart that I saw on a documentary. It was somewhere in Ohio. It was a big Amish community, and there was like around back of the parking lot, they had literally had like a stable lined up where you could go in there and like hitch your horse, and then you would hitch the horse up there, and then they could go inside and do everything, and I guess you bring it out and go from there. We have a viewer here who says in Walmart in Farmville they leave it in the parking lot like a car. So we just
okay.
It's actually my dad. I'm surprised he figured out how to message that. Hello, Pop. But yeah, so I guess they just leave it in the parking lot.
So how are people just not stealing horses all the time?
That's what I'm
You
saying.
couldn't do that. You couldn't do that here.
There can't be like a bunch of teenagers around there. Like
Yeah, so essentially everybody's just leaving their car running.
Yes. Could you imagine going to the east end of Richmond and just like leaving a horse outside of a Family Dollar out there or something? You know, at 8, that horse will be dead.
It'd be spray painted.
Oh my god!
Somebody's initials.
JL was here. We're really gonna have to go ahead and preemptively issue an apology to PETA right now. But yeah, it's funny because the television that's on in front of me now is actually showing. I think it's an old Chevy commercial or something. It was actually showing people riding horses and stuff. So maybe the TV's been listening to this right now. Actually, no, it's an Ancestry.com commercial. I thought
Jeez.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of people that never mind. I'm not going there. Yeah, kind of racist.
Yeah, could be. All right. Well, Amish, if you want help protecting your horses, you call us. We
need to get a let's not do this horse.
Oh, dude, we should.
My friend Justin's dad has like a horse farm in like a residential neighborhood. He just built a bunch of land and has a horse farm. So yeah, maybe I can rent one.
Can we sponsor a racehorse? Is he raising racehorses?
I don't know. I know he has some events there. It's kind of wild. I went there for him and his fiance's baby shower.
Yeah.
And it's just in a residential neighborhood, and then he just bought all the land behind his house, and it's just you drive back and it's nuts.
So that could be a good idea. We could sponsor a horse. Obviously, this horse isn't going to be running the Kentucky Derby or anything like that. But if there's like whatever the dog track equivalent is of horse racing, is where we could put our horse.
Yeah, I don't think they race them. I think they do like the equestrian or whatever. Maybe. Yeah. I'll have to ask. I don't know.
Oh well, those are the fancy horses there. Drab T-shirt, who is one of the producers for the Sports Junkies in DC, went in on a racehorse before with a bunch of other radio people. And apparently this horse was so bad that they ended up selling it to the Amish. It was so bad of a racehorse. So I guess that's like, it's like Hugh Jackson. Did you hear about Hugh Jackson?
No.
Obviously, Hugh Jackson used to coach the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah.
He ended up getting fired and stuff. I think he was an assistant in the NFL for a little bit. Got a head coaching job at Grambling. Was terrible there. And remember, that's FCS, ladies and gentlemen. Got fired there. He just got hired as head coach at Division II Spelman, which is an all-black. Not all-black. It's HBCU, but it's an all-male school. So he went from NFL to HBCU FCS to Division II. So with horses, I guess if you don't do well, you go from running, derby races to maybe lower level dog track type races to working for the Amish. And I guess the next stop's the glue factory.
With kidnapping in Michigan in between.
Yeah, there we go. Maybe she was celebrating the Michigan national championship. You know that thing had one of those Michigan men license plates on there.
I still think she wanted to walk home or to her motel,
You
and it was probably enraged by some drug activity too.
Oh, without a doubt. Do you have to register a horse and buggy with the DMV?
I don't know.
I mean,
No.
it's on the
Well,
road.
not the horse, but
I have like a license plate, right? What does it say, like Rusty on the back?
honestly, I have no idea.
We've unlocked a whole level of stuff here.
Yeah, I wouldn't take them for people that go to the DMV.
Well, it's gotta have something to be on the road. I've seen the ones with
Does it?
and stuff.
It doesn't have a motor, so I mean,
But like a golf cart, you gotta have like the low speed license plate thing on there. I actually would like to watch a drag race now between a horse and a golf cart. I wonder who would win.
it's not the only drag race you want to see.
Yeah, Chris is at one right now. RuPaul's. All right. So we got that going on. And then there was another story that we saw here. Oh, there was a yogurt company. If I can get this pulled up here. There we go. So yesterday we went out. First time we went out in forever. I forgot my cell phone. Left it in my wife's car. And you ended up bringing it to me because when she came to bring it to me, you saw her in the parking lot. She gave it to you. You brought it to me. Scotty was the hero. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we told you.
Yeah. Something like that. So I was probably in there about 45 minutes before Chris showed up. And I had Chris message my wife to bring me my phone. That was the longest I had been without a cell phone in quite some time. And honestly, I felt like anxiety. Because number one, how am I getting home? Because, I didn't drive there. So I had to Uber. Well, I can't Uber if I don't have a phone. And then like my mind's thinking like, what if my car has been hacked or something? What if I don't have money? Because I have my wallet, but I don't know. Maybe I need to use my phone to tap and pay with another card. I don't know. All these thoughts start going through my head. And then I'm like, what if like Scotty doesn't come? And Chris was supposed to be there before me. What if Chris didn't get there? And what if I'm sitting here all night by myself? All these thoughts like race through my mind. And I'm like, this is all because I don't have a cell phone. And that was in like a 45-minute time period. When's the last time you didn't have a phone on you?
Probably been a couple of years. I think I left it at home. So I was all day at work. But even then you still have like Facebook Messenger and all that.
Yeah, I've done that before, where I've left it at work. Yeah, and I can message my wife or email or whatever. I've done that. But yeah, it's weird, man, and not having it.
It's kind of not because like sometimes I'll leave my phone in the car for like an hour and it's kind of like relieving a little bit. I mean, when you have your phone right there, you always feel like you got to check it. And I think that brings me more anxiety than anything. But yeah, sometimes because I leave my phone in the car like quite often on accident. And then it's just kind of like I didn't have to check my phone. I didn't have to worry about a text or an alert or anything like that. So damn, it's kind of nice. That's how it used to be when we were teenagers.
Well, you did that for a little bit. I did it for 45 minutes. Could you go a month without your phone?
Not by choice, but there's a prize here, correct?
Yeah. So there is a company called Siggy's Dairy, and they make Icelandic style yogurts. I don't know what the fuck Icelandic style yogurt means. Like, did they put fish in it? I assume that anything that's Icelandic has like fish guts in it. So maybe they got like fish guts or sorbet or something. I don't know. But Icelandic style yogurts. And they said it's nice to have a simpler life with fewer distractions. And most of our distractions can come from our phones. They're offering a $10,000 cash prize for a digital detox if you can go without your phone for a whole month. In addition to the cash, the company is offering other prizes that include 3 months worth of yogurt, a flip phone, and a smartphone lockbox. For those that are willing to put down their phone, the contest is open until January 31st. Are you going to sign up?
I can do that.
You can do it.
Is this legit? Yeah. Like I still have access to my computer, right?
I think they want you to. I don't know. That's a good point.
I just need to be able to place bets. That's the only thing I'm worried about.
So not I need to call my mom. I need to get in touch with my doctor's office.
I'll tell her what's up.
So I looked up Siggy's Dairy, and it came back to me as Icelandic Milk and SKYR, Sicker, whatever. I have no idea. That might be racist. Corporation. Looks like their corporate office is at 135 West 26th Street in New York City. So this is like in New York, like
Okay.
yeah. So right by the Hilton, by the way, which is by the Fashion District in New York. So they got that going for them. I don't think I could do a month.
I could do a month. It only says smartphone. So like I said, as long as I got a laptop or something to place bets, I'm good.
What if you couldn't bet for a month?
I'd rather not have my phone than to not be able to bet. I could still do it for 10,000, but it would be tough.
If you could get through it, okay, so you would promptly take that $10,000 and bet it, wouldn't you?
At least half of it, yeah. So I went on to the Outer Banks, not last year, but the year before, and there's no sports betting in North Carolina.
March 11th.
I thought I was gonna die. I legit thought about like driving to like the Virginia line and placing some bets and coming back.
So I listened to the Ovius and Giglio podcast. Two guys used to be on 99.9 The Fan in Raleigh. And they have a podcast now. And Joe Giglio is a gambler amongst the two. And he talks about how he quite often drives from wherever they live in the Raleigh area across the Virginia line. He goes to a Bojangles to the parking lot and places his bets there. But
yeah, I've heard. Yeah, I think you were telling me. I heard about people that was it from New York to New Jersey or New Jersey to New York?
It was New York to New Jersey because Jersey was like the first state, I think, to make it legal. And there was a Starbucks that was like right off the interstate, and people were coming over the bridge, parking at this Starbucks, going inside, and that one Starbucks location was doing more betting than like anywhere else in the country, like over mobile phones.
Even more than Keishon Booty, is that how you say his name?
Keishon Boutte, or whatever his name is.
8,900 bets in a year.
So dumb.
I make a lot of bets, but I don't know how you do 9,000. That's crazy.
You literally have to give your name and social security number and all this stuff. How do you not figure out they're going to bust you for being underage? For those who don't know, Keishon Boutte played at LSU, on the roster right now for the New England Patriots, taken into custody today for I forget the crime exactly was. It was like gambling.
He was arrested?
Yeah, he was arrested.
Damn.
Yeah, you can go to jail for that. They do not mess around. Which, by the way, I've also looked up the Siggy's yogurt right here. A wholesome tradition, Scotty. 16 grams of protein, 9 grams of sugar there. Thick, creamy, and rich in protein. Sicker is the traditional style of Iceland. Siggy's Sicker is made with simple ingredients and not a lot of sugar.
I could totally do that.
Yeah. Would you eat this yogurt? I don't know if I want yogurt from New York City.
I mean, it's free, right?
Well, I feel like it's a ripoff at that point, right? Like if you're sitting there and you're telling me, I mean, look at where this place is. If we can see that on the map there, that little red dot right there is where Icelandic Milk and Skicker or whatever corporation is, which ironically, by the way, I love that it's right down the street from a Planet Fitness. But it's right there by the Hilton in the New York Fashion District. I mean, this is like in the city. When you look Madison Square Park and all is right there, it's like blocks away from the Empire State Building, you know? If someone says yogurt, I'm thinking like, Wisconsin fields, dairy cattle and stuff. What ice cream from New York? I mean, yogurt from New York City.
You have to go there to get it?
I assume that you can buy it online. Scotty, give me your credit card. We're going to buy some yogurt here.
So real quick, it said 8,900 plus bets in a year. That's 24 bets a day. I don't come anywhere close to that. Or in football Sundays, I get close sometimes. But that would be like football Sunday plus like every day. He must just be betting on like every single game he can. Probably every college football game.
You think he's tossing in like a bunch of dumb parlays, like 15-leg parlays for like $2 or something like that? Because I've done that. I just scatter shoot sometimes on the weekend and put in a bunch of dumb like little small bets. But I'm not like putting a lot of research into those.
Yeah,
Those
but
are
then
potentially lottery tickets.
yeah, well, it also brings in the question where was he getting all that money? That was before NIL, right?
How long has he been in the NFL?
I know he's not a rookie.
NIL's been going on what 2-3 years?
I think two.
2 years. So I
I
mean,
think I don't know.
listen, I don't want to cast any aspersions anywhere, but I think LSU is one of those places where if you're going to get some money, you'll be able to get some money. No, he was a 6th-round pick apparently
Uh,
this year.
yeah, he's a rookie.
In
Okay.
the NFL draft. So yeah, he had NIL money. Maybe Livy Dunn gave him a loan. Maybe she's good for it. She's making the cash right now. No, it's so
Maybe he
dumb.
was,
Go on.
maybe he was betting on gymnastics.
If they had college gymnastics in a betting app, you would totally bet on
Nah,
it. You
I
don't
really
think
wouldn't.
so? No?
I am probably gonna. Is the next Olympics? Are they having like what are the new sports like cricket and flag football?
I think
Is that
so.
the next Olympics? I'll be betting on that.
Hey, you haven't lived until you've gotten up at 3 a.m., turned on Willow TV, and bet on cricket. You haven't lived.
Yeah, as long as they don't last 5 days or a month or whatever crazy
No.
shenanigans they got going on.
You got to watch T20 cricket with me. It's over in like 3 hours. It's great. That like match day test international stuff takes like 5 days. That's a completely different beast there. But
Yeah,
the
I don't get that.
T20 is different. I'll invite you over. We'll drink some beers at 3 a.m. and watch cricket. I'm sure my wife would love that. I'm sure she would
Yeah.
love that. Yeah. All right. And on that note, she probably loves me yelling in the house as I record this. Where can you find this monstrosity online?
You can find us on YouTube. Let's Not Do This Podcast. Please go like and subscribe. You can find us on the socials at Let's Not Do This Podcast, Facebook, TikTok, Threads, Instagram, and _ Let's Not Do This on Twitter.
Yes, sir. And hopefully soon we'll be up and coming on Rumble as well as we look to branch out and hopefully one day be the 5th most popular podcast in Kyrgyzstan. And maybe we'll crack Turkmenistan one day.
It's got to crack 60 subscribers on YouTube first. We'll be there.
Win a date with Scotty if you subscribe to the podcast. You're 60. Win a date with Scotty. You know what?
Sure. Oh, that's fitting. Leon freezes right before the podcast ends. All right. Well, on that note, I guess we're out of here. See y'all later.